I have faith that the Constitution will be saved as prophesied by Joseph Smith. But it will not be saved in Washington.
Travis Wayne Goodsall. It's Saturday, 9/11 in the Jewish calendar for the civil calendar year. And we've got time. Got nothing better to do. Mormons won't pay attention and listen. We're Latter-day Saints. It's in the name. So what does it mean? Well, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints says it means that Jesus Christ is coming to burn people. That's exactly what it means. The glory presence of the Lord when he comes from outer space, not needing the flying horse that John in Revelation chapter 19 says he's going to have, because the Book of Mormon corrects the translation of Revelation chapter 19. He doesn't need the horse. I should still have that on my computer because I had to bring it back over for a recent video. Church is so true, right, Mormons? So true. Defies the laws of physics. It's so true. And so, yeah, Jesus is gonna, come. I can't say in a coming day or days anymore because Nelson came out in April conference and said he doesn't know the day anymore. He used to know. He doesn't know anymore. And tomorrow he'll be touching the Ark of the Covenant in the Syracuse Temple. I warned him not to. He's not listening. What do I know? this belief that Jesus is coming, he's going to burn people, but it's just the wicked, even though Oakes made it very clear 5 times since the Christmas devotional last year that everybody's getting burned and only the righteous will be resurrected. Gotta pay attention. Gotta pay attention. These prophets are sneaky, using code for only the true Mormons who are true believers and listen to the living prophets of Jesus who know the secret codes that they give out. Because there's some true Mormon who, curious, YouTube Mormon employee down in Utah County, why aren't you recommending his videos anymore? I was giving him coverage. Where are his videos? Why aren't they being recommended? Why have you stopped those? Was it something I said? But he does video content about the coming of Jesus as he's quoting from the living prophets and others, like the last one that I saw, and no more see anything from his channel, the Relief Society president. Or actually, I don't think she was the Relief Society president, is she? I think she's the primary president. But anyway, one of the women leaders. And how he wonders if there's a secret code in their wording. Did Adam on Diamond already happen? Did it? I don't know. Did it? And so yes, Mormons are on high alert now for the second coming of Jesus, even though Nelson said, I don't know anymore when the day's coming. I don't know. I used to. I don't anymore. And so, there's a problem with this. Mormons don't read their scriptures. And the church is to blame. Because in 2023, a massive event of historical proportions happened for the church, and the church was, not going to talk about it. And they didn't the whole year. Do you know what it was in 2023, Mormons? What happened in 2023 in LDS church history? Give you a hint. It was a bicentennial year in 2023. No? Still don't know, huh? The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints turned Joseph Smith's 1838 visionary accounts into literal histories. Therefore, in 2020, we had the bicentennial of the first vision. And Nelson showed us how to use the rocks in a hat. Because it's literal history. It's exactly how Joseph Smith did it. Because Martin Harris said so. Yeah, you trust whoever tells you stuff, huh? Yep. That's a habit in this church. Oh, somebody wrote it in their journal, it's got to be true. Oh, a salamander talked to Joseph Smith, it's obviously true. Yes, discernment is a very key gift in this church, especially for leadership. They aren't deceived, no, not at all, because they have the gift of discernment to identify forged documents and liars' pantses on fires. They aren't deceived by con men seeking to burn them instead of Jesus, but claiming it's Jesus who's doing it. Joseph Smith's second vision. Yeah, the church tells Mormons this is all about the coming of the gospel being restored. Pay attention to the text. He said there was a book deposited written upon gold plates. Do I need to repeat that a billion times until it finally sinks into your head it's not golden? Giving an account of the former inhabitants of this continent. See, Travis, it's literal history. And the source from which they sprang. He's talking about the Knights Templar, you dumbasses. Your big clue was gold plates in Egyptian. He also said that the fullness of the everlasting gospel was contained in it. See, Travis, you're wrong. Church is true. As delivered by the Savior to the ancient inhabitants. Also, that there were 2 stones in silver bows, constituting seers. After telling me about the Urim and Thummim, rocks in a hat, with the coming forth of the Book of Mormon, he commenced quoting the prophecies of the Old Testament, not the New Testament. Why not the New? And so he starts with Malachi, 3rd chapter. Will a man rob God? Wherein have ye robbed me? In tithes for the storehouse of the Lord. Not fast offerings? No. Tithe. And then quoted the 4th chapter, or last chapter of the same prophecy. Did you catch that? Joseph is so sneaky with his words. Got to read and comprehend what you read. Though with a little variation from the way it reads in our Bible. Uh-oh. Some additional information is being put in. What could it be now? For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly, shall burn as stubble. Well, that's exactly what it says. That's not different. Oh, wait, here it is. For they that come. It's in the plural. I'm pretty sure the Church of Jesus Christ does not believe that Jesus is an LGBTQIAPO+ with a different pronoun. Last I heard, they're burning the bridges. And they've got to be rolling over in their graves, pre-dug, with what happened today in Salt Lake City that has been returned. If you don't know, I'll give you a Book of Mormon clue. Because words love to be changed in meaning to no longer have the original meaning of the intended word. So Abinadi was burned how, Mormons? shall burn them. They that come shall burn them. All of Christianity believes this is the second coming of Jesus. Even the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints says that this is the second coming of Jesus. And yet, Joseph Smith Jr., founder of Joseph Smith's church, obviously, says that nope, it is not going to be Jesus. It is going to be they that come. And it can only be Christians who would blame Jesus for doing it. The great and dreadful day of the Lord. And thus we are Latter-day Saints. Because Joseph Smith, in this visionary accounts, is warning us of the all wrong, abominable, and corrupt creation of Christianity, who have screwed up the interpretation, altered it into something completely different than the intention of the Jewish authors who wrote the scriptures, that were selected by Christians to form what they call the Bible. It is these kinds of teachings from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints that directly impacts the thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and thus actions of the membership of the church. That's why it is crucial that we as members put the prophets to the test and not just automatically believe whatever they tell us, because there's going to be consequences to those words that they speak. And so, an example of believing that Jesus is coming to burn people, we go back in time to 2015. The Jews knew about the big signs in the heavens from 2014, 2015 of the moon turned to blood. They didn't know about the sun darkening and the stars falling from heaven. That was also a part of it, though they knew from Joel, just like Joseph Smith knew from Joel and put it in the second vision list of prophecies of the Old Testament. Not the New. And if you're going, Travis, he quoted Acts. That's in the New Testament. Really? And what does Acts say? Yeah, Moses said. Well, where did Moses say it? Yeah, Old Testament. Do not think you are smarter than me. Got to do this first. I went down memory lane today, having extra time to fool around. And so I went to some of my greatest hits, trying to, because I noticed something, and it's on the second row of this snapshot. And so I took a snapshot of the ones in the 2.1K to 1.7K view range. So from a year ago, Mississippi LDS Church Bishop quits Mormon Jesus Christ at Pulpit of Church. 2.1K. LDS Church releases 1844 documents exposing their plot to murder Joseph Smith 2 years ago. William Law, Danite agent. 1 year ago, ignorant about Mormonism, critics become very popular. See, Mormons, I'm on your side. 1826 manuscript found, published by Joseph Smith Sr. Yep, 1 year ago. There it is. LDS Church President Russell Marion Nelson, 99 birthday message on 9/9. My parents named me Lucifer. And here it is. This is what I went perusing for. Naughty Sister Missionary leaks LDS Church USA coup plot for 2024, October. ... The saints must not know of it. Oaks gets leaked 8 months ago in November. Yep, because the Mormon YouTube employee down in Utah County recommended a Mormon channel for me. Oh, thank you. Where is he again? I don't see that channel anymore. Where is that channel? Why are all these channels going missing? This was a bombshell that pissed me off to no end. Remember, we're Latter-day Saints. It's in the name, duh. And so, as I've been doing pretty much every single video since then, is even changing the themes of my video content this year. Was because of this that got leaked to me. Thank you. See, I'm on your side. You recommended it, and I checked it out. You have only yourself to blame. Sister Jessica leaked her mission president's letter to parents and stake presidents who leaked Oaks at the mission president's meeting in Las Vegas, Nevada, 14th of March, 2020. See, I've repeated it so many times and it's a part of my associative memory that I remember it. I can recall it, and you think it's quoting. No. I don't memorize. And so in chiasmus, Oaks is quoted as saying, "This is not the end of the world, but merely a test, a trial run for the second coming." And then the big April conference, demonstrating how the rock and a hat works, so that all Mormons can know the church is true. Church is true. Everything that happened, Oaks told us was going to happen as a test run. And so we have to include 2021. because there was an election that year. And then there was a January 6th. That's what pisses me off. I warned my government in advance, and I didn't know about this until November last year. And 1.9K of you saw that video, even though it's 1 hour, 52 minutes, and 40 seconds long. So the majority of you know that quote, because that's the thumbnail picture that I have at the beginning of the videos, regardless of whatever other memes I have or video clips I have. Everybody knows that of the 1.9K. Did you forget? I know you're not watching anymore. That's obvious. And so you aren't hearing me repeat this over and over again, because these 1.9K, for the most part of you, are gone. You're not even listening to this video. You didn't believe. You saw it and went, oh, okay, whatever. This was likely after the election. After. Are you unaware of what's going on in the news right now? Oaks said 2020 is a test run, so that everything that happened in 2020 is going to be repeated for 2024 and 2025. Tanks have now arrived in DC. Tanks. LA riots, protests have begun. In 2020, it was the Black Lives Matter protests. Trump had told us that all blacks need to go back to the bleep hole countries where they didn't come from, that they're all criminals, terrorists, drug dealers, gang members, illegals, and they needed to go back, get deported. And so, yet another unarmed, in custody black man is murdered by cops on live social media feeds, for which they were all used as evidence in the court of law. The knee on the neck. The death kill of all cops. All over for a potential forged bill that the Target company protested. And so, yes, this year you have a pastor who's demanding a boycott of Target as a part of the anniversary of that horrible event that took place. So this year, the target for deportations at the beginning, because blacks are still coming, your turn is next. He's doing the same pattern this time. Sends the military to the southern border, goes to sanctuary states and cities, except for Utah, and deporting people. are collateral damage. We were told there would be collateral damage. We were told they're going into the schools and the churches, just not in Utah. The sanctuary state of Utah has exemption clauses. And so, Americans who, according to the AI test or the AI voting machines, first time ever used, they projected the win of Trump. And so blacks voted for Trump, LGBTQIABO+ voted for Trump, Islam voted for Trump, despite the travel ban back in the first term. Hey, we got a travel ban again this time, don't we? Wow, Oaks was right. The exact same stuff are happening this time too. Wow, church is so true. And women voted for Trump, despite losing their rights in Roe v. Wade. Trump is the champion of women's rights. He wasn't convicted of sexual assault, and thus the consequential defamation lawsuits. Nope, he's president. All of it disappeared, just like the Jeffrey Epstein documents. See, Mormons live in denial land, and as such, they're not intelligent. They are incapable of understanding what is read or what is spoken to them. Mormons don't understand it. Mormons are just going, oh, Jesus is coming, great. They miss and they don't understand what Oaks meant by saying, this is not the end of the world, but merely a test, a trial run for the second coming. They miss that Oaks is the cause. That Oaks not only has insider information about this, and thus profited on the stock market in 2020, which, oh wow, they did it again this year. $6 billion in 2020, and this year, $10 trillion. Yep. Just a test run in 2020. Just a test run. Because they're hoarding the money for Jesus whenever he comes. They're going to give it to him. Here you go, Jesus. We got it for you. And so sad as it is, James and Jasmine went missing around that same time. I miss you, Jasmine. Where are you? What happened? Are you dead? Because Jasmine and her inspired studying got me lots of attention. Egyptus Jasmine, investigator of Mormonism, studies the Book of Abraham. That's AI. It's AI. She was into that. I miss you, Jasmine. Very tragic. So, because of time, we aren't going to go over some of the other gems that I have. You know, there's Sean Hannity, There's Oaks turning the BYU movie into LDS church scripture. Or the General Conference of April 2024, in which the new administration takes over with Jesus and his 2 wives. Or remembering the passing of LDS Church President Russell Marion Nelson. I missed the Radio from Hell show. Are always good for a laugh. So back to 2015. The Jews recognized it as the prophecy of Joel, but only a partial understanding, not understanding that the solar eclipses for that tetrad also applied. That was me that told you guys that. I just redid that video earlier this week, I think. But there was a Mormon, infamously known now as Chad Daybell, who had a near-death experience in which he was dead and believed that he went to the spirit world and saw Jesus, and Jesus told him things, saying, "I am coming back for the second coming. You need to go back and prepare for my coming." Chad Daybell is a Mormon. We're Latter-day Saints. It's all about the second coming of Jesus. He is taught this from birth. It is unclear how far back Chad Daybell goes in this church, because he doesn't come from the start of the church with Joseph Smith. He is not among the original pioneer converts. And so I don't know if it's his mother's generation or the grandparents' generation, how far back it goes. I mean, they're living in Rexburg, Idaho. That's Mormon country. That's where my good cell parents come from. But he began writing books and doing book tours, giving speaking engagements about his near-death experience and how Jesus told him to prepare for the second coming. And then the fateful days. After the third blood moon, that was Saturday morning of General Conference in 2015. You then see the falling stars of Perry, Packer, Scott. Mormons are in a panic. Mormons are all going, "Oh, is this it? Is Jesus coming?" Chad Daybell says yes. He told me to prepare you for the zombie apocalypse. It's coming. And it caused such a stir among Mormons Latter-day Saints. It's in the name. That Monson had to take a stand and tell Mormons no. These are not the signs of the second coming. Nothing to see here. Move along. Keep paying up your tithing. Not to the storehouses of the Lord, to the coffers of the church. All excited. All excited. See, during this time, I was merely running the test and go, oh, look at that. After the third one, then sure enough, Perry Pecker Scott. I ran the scientific test and it came to pass, just like it did for Faust and Hinckley. That's as far as I was going to go. See, I didn't realize it was the second coming until 4th of November 2020 or 2016, when Fox 13 News Utah reported the coming of the total solar eclipse over the United States of America on Monson's birthday, 21st of August 2017. That's when I knew it was time. The very next year. And so yes, that tetrad, both solar and lunar, with stars falling, was merely a test run. The pre-show to warn Mormons. So yes, Mormons were correct. Monson was not. Monson was dead wrong. And for punishment, the unseen power smote Monson down. Not just with the curse of Joseph Smith and the signs in the heavens, but also scripture prophecy. Because remember, not just his birthday, but Revelation chapter 12, verse 4, the stars falling from the tail of Draco the dragon, the very night he died. And you'd think that would scare Nelson. You'd think, wouldn't you? You'd think. You'd think he'd stay away from the Syracuse temple on Christian Pentecost, not Jewish, and touching the Ark of the Covenant. It's like he didn't learn last year with the Thule temple. Oh, Nelson, how art thou fallen on 9/11/2023? As today is 9/11. Hilarious. For the Jewish civil calendar. And so, Chad Daybell was offended. I know that I saw Jesus Christ face to face as one man speaketh to another while in the spirit world. Monson is a fallen prophet. Now I understand why Jesus told me to prepare for his coming. Nelson Monson is a false prophet, leading Mormons astray. And yeah, but if we go too many hours more, we're going to have to upload this tomorrow. And so, yeah, I'm watching Falling Skies. And I warned you that I'm going to be pissed if this is how it's going to happen. I've warned in advance, just like in 2020. God. It's just, what good are prophets if nobody listens to them? What good are they? And so, yes, we all know what happened after, because it's been all over the national world news all this time. Chad Daybell is on death row now. Lori Vallow is throwing a little goddess fit in court. Getting deported from the courtroom. I'm a goddess. You can't talk to me like this. Don't you know who I am? Oh my God. And you thought the Trump-Elon drama was fun. Step aside for Mormons. Oh, dear God. So, Lori found out about Chad through his books and his speaking tour, and believed. That's why he was popular. Mormons believed. We're Latter-day Saints. We're waiting for the second coming. He says he had a near-death experience and saw Jesus and told him to prepare for the second coming. And then, boom, Perry Packer Scott are dead under the blood moons. Monson obviously can't be a true prophet. Chad is. All will bow to Chad. Chad Christ. The one to prepare the way. Oh, God. Mormons fell for it. They don't acknowledge it anymore. They're all hiding in shame, hoping everybody forgot. But that's how Lori got involved with Chad. And so they had correspondence. Both of their spouses were unbelievers. And I understand where that comes from. I had a couple of unbelieving spouses and thousands of unbelieving dates. It's a Mormon thing. And, you know, they began the practice of what the church claims Joseph Smith did. Commit adultery. That was originally going to be my video topic. Because of the hate video that I did this morning, for which 2 thumbs down instantly showed up. And checking before doing this video, nobody has given it a thumbs up. Mormons are running and hiding from it, except for the two who think it's so cool to use religious hate crimes, proving that I'm true. Like I said, you call Mormon wicked, they prove it to you. Time and time and time again. Because of the teachings of the living prophets of Jesus that tell you to do this. Even though they come out and deny that they told you to do this. And see, Mormons are groomed not to understand what they hear or read, to only interpret it according to their spiritual witness feelings of faith promotion. And so if the living prophet of Jesus says something that's not faith promoting to them, he didn't say it. He said something else, or is talking to other Mormons. Other Mormons need to listen to Nelson. He's vindicated me. Right? YouTube Mormon employee in Utah County. And so yes, the horrible abominations for which still to this day I have difficult researches, wristband. Her name, difficult research is her YouTube channel name. Her name is Cretia Easton, member of the Woodcock family, related to Chad Daybell. She is not a Mormon. That's why it seems that either Chad or Chad's parents were converts. Lori Vallow, however, came from Arizona, but again, that's also Mormon country, just like Rexburg is. And so it's unclear as to how far back her family goes. Because I think Vallow is her married name, though, isn't it? So that would mean her dead husband, for which the trial currently is about. Because the one about the kids, yeah, guilty on all counts, for what she should have gotten the death penalty for. Let's see if we can find. See, her children's names are Ryan, and so it looks like they dropped her married name and that Vallow is her actual name, although I see a Joshua Vallow also as a child. But siblings, there we go. Coxes. Coxes were also in the news 25 years ago. 25 years ago, weren't they Mormons? Weren't they Governor Cox? We have never found her, and yet everybody was sure that he was guilty. Susan Powell. Susan Cox Powell. Susan Marie Powell. Her disappearance. It's got its own Wikipedia page also. Very sad. Joshua and Susan Powell with their sons, Charles and Brandon. I just cry over that. What Mormons did as a witch hunt. Chased them back to Oregon. They never found her body to this day. They don't know what happened, and yet they're all sure he did it because their spiritual witness feelings were tingling. He was denied custody of his children because her parents were able to convince the court that somehow he's guilty. We just haven't found her body yet. You know, in a court of law, you kind of need evidence. in order to find a person guilty of a crime. And yet, it's all justified because after he blew himself up with the boys, well, they went and investigated Daddy and found out he was doing child porn of the neighborhood kids getting dressed for the pool. And he never revealed anything, despite serving his time and being on the sex offender registry for the rest of his life. Nonetheless, no body, no clue, no evidence, no nothing, other than the police refused to investigate her being on the Walmart cameras in the parking lot talking to another man. What's up with that? What's going on? What happened? What happened? So slow. See, this computer, when I got this way back when, so fast. And now with algorithms and AI, it's so slow. And so, yes, the evidence with Chad and Lori, though, is just overwhelming preponderance of evidence of their guilt. And they've already been found guilty over the kids. It just makes me cry. The mutilation and dismemberment of the kids, the emails calling them zombies to justify the murder, all because of their teachings as Mormons about the latter days. And all Mormons are going, well, they aren't teaching what we believe. That's not, they're apostates. No, they were faithful. They were doing in accordance with what they were being taught, just like the rest of you. It's just the majority of Mormons just sit and stay silent. You're on your cell phones, putting thumbs downs on Travis's videos. You'll show me. Church is true, Travis. And that's what you don't get. My video channel is about the latter days. But you don't believe it. I'm right, because I use science. You know Chad is wrong, because he used spiritual witness feelings. And you say that he now did not die. He did not see Jesus. Jesus wouldn't tell him to do this. Not my Jesus. My own personal Jesus. And thus you justify claiming he's not one of you. Just like you do to all who leave this church. You call them anti-Mormon, anti-Christ, apostate, Korahors to justify your faith bubbles, when yours is just a ticking time bomb waiting for you to get locked up and on the news. And yes, there was another Mormon in the news, and yes, he's a sheriff. And he's a hate of David B. Haight infamy, who died in 2004. Not just the Good Cell police officer. Earlier this week, wasn't it? Or was it last week? It's been so long since I Had to go to Family Search and get the pictures that my father erased and threw away. And so, like James, I'm unable to access my Family Search account because I no longer know my password or even identification login anymore. And so you have to go through your bishop to get permission to talk with Family Services and get a new password to gain access to your own history. God. I'm not excommunicated. Nope, nope, nope. And so, I am unable to figure out how to end this because this is not the original video I was going to do. See, a religious hate crimes video instead of instantly attack. Let's see, LDS are a hiss and a byword, because that's the video I did that Mormons immediately attacked. See, everybody knows the church is a lying fraud. And yet Mormons are playing dumb, using religious freedom to justify their existence as Mormon. And so you have the church prophets who are setting the example for Mormons by trying to overthrow the United States Constitution, just like they did in 2020, with the religious freedom movement, which they've already got it. The Constitution gives religious freedom. That was what was so progressive. With the Revolutionary War? Let's just change definitions. Right, LGBTQ? Right, Abinadi? Is that for the first time, religions who come to America could be free to worship. And yet, it's being used by evangelicals primarily and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to overthrow the government, as 2020 was the test run, so that 2024 and 5 could be the big show for the second coming of Jesus, where Joseph Smith warned every single Mormon that Brigham Young did not want you to know about. He did not publish 19 July 1840. Where you understood it as the myth of the Constitution will hang by a thread. Brink of ruin. And then Joseph Smith says Brigham Young is going to be the enemy, using Mark as his symbolic coding. But Brigham Young caught it, and he was upset. But also, they that come shall burn you. The 1838 history visions were not published by Brigham Young. Joseph Smith had them published in the Times and Seasons. And so, yes, it was not the same name of the church. Joseph Smith had the name of the Church of the Latter-day Saints. William Morgan, not William, oh my God, Martin Harris, no, oh my God, Willard Richards is the one who wrote in on the original document, Jesus Christ. And then under John Taylor it was published, because Brigham Young still wouldn't publish it, even though the Richards, who was the mission president in England, used that in the pamphlet that he gave out in England, and then brought it to the Valley, but Brigham Young still wouldn't publish it. He wanted nothing to do with translation. He wanted nothing to do with the visionary accounts. Because he's the enemy. He's they that shall come, shall burn them. And obviously Brigham Young is dead. He's not coming back as a zombie apocalypse to do it. It's the leadership of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, of whom Oakes got leaked, saying he's the guy who's gonna do it. So, in the coming day, maybe, Trump, we're waiting. We're waiting.